Hey there guys, welcome to my channel. So Euro Truck Sim just got another update to the open beta 1.40, which apparently will fix some of the issues that were present. And that's what we're gonna check out. As we also benchmark it in 4K, which I didn't do. I tried at 1080p for 100% scaling. Performance was a little less than stellar, so perhaps 4K 100% scaling would perform better than 1080p for 100%, which would be essentially 4K, but I heard that scaling is a lot more demanding than actual natural original resolutions. So that's what I'm about to try right now. So let's find a quick job, get this over with. Okay, so as you can see, 4K, and there's this weird, I don't know what's that purple thing doing there. Never seen that before. That's a first, but let's ignore it, just move on and take a job. So job market, see what we have here. We are still in Dusseldorf. That's where I was in the last video, which took pretty much 1 day to render in 4K. Like I uploaded it and it took more than 24 hours to actually be available in 4K, which was kind of weird, but it happens, I assume. So let's take this job from Dusseldorf to Osnabrück, or whatever you say, like. Let's begin delivery. Also, gonna run through the graphics settings before anything, just in case. I want to make sure everything's spot on. Not sure how it's gonna run, honestly. Is recording and also using NVIDIA RTX voice. Performance might be a little bit less than ideal. And that purple thing there is kind of bothering me. Never seen that. So it's basically nighttime. I'm gonna run like half of the trip at nighttime, then I'm gonna go and park and sleep so that we can see how daytime goes as well. That's pretty much the plan. So we're looking at 91% load, which is fair. I mean, RTX voice and all the extra load, you know, recording in 4K with OBS, because usually with Streamlabs it's pretty straightforward, but there's an issue with the audio. Actually, that's why I use OBS instead whenever I record my benchmarks with voiceover. Is when I don't have to speak, I use a shadow play, which is much better. So okay, let's run through the graphics settings first. Oh, did it die? No, it didn't die. So options, graphics, as you can see, it's 4K, refresh rate, default, VSync is enabled, scaling 100%, reflection, I mean 100% as well, everything on high and ultra as far as it can possibly go. So let's turn this baby up. Oh my god, does it really have to load again? Like seriously, I didn't change anything. That's annoying. And that purple thing is more than annoying. Why is it there? I don't know. Never seen that before. I'm not sure if you guys can see it because I only have one screen, so I cannot actually see whatever the frick I'm recording. But okay, so there we go. We have the lights now. It was not working, so we have functional lights and we have less than 60 FPS, which is expected because then again recording and stuff. So performance substantially less. Oh my god, parking brake, come on. All right, so let me just sort of get a... Whenever I talk and drive, things just get... Oh lord, what the hell happened to the mirror? You guys see that? I'm not sure... What? It's missing the textures. Like, there's no textures at all, just the 3D thing. Holy cow. Like, outside it just works, and oh my god, it looks amazing. No questioning. No debate. It's just amazing. Well, you go inside and then... What the hell? Okay, that is weird. But let's pretend it's not there and move on with the trucking, and I lost count. Oh my god, wait. Steered far too much. I'm confused. Either way. Okay, so one thing that we know for sure, the lights are working. That's what the hell. So we have functional lights already. Finally, the headlights, which were not there. And we're experiencing night lighting for the first time. I mean, I'm experiencing night lighting for the first time. And 1.40, because I only... Because of the headlight issue, and I didn't want to buy a new truck because that's the only way to actually get it working before. So I didn't really want to bother buying a new truck, so I just had to kind of, you know, say goodbye to the nighttime trucking for a bit. But now we're finally doing it, and I gotta say, it looks impressive. And of course, as impressive as it looks, it also it doesn't run like I would expect it to, but it's okay. I mean, it's 4K, I'm pushing too much. My card's a Quad HD card, so I really shouldn't be trying 4K even, but it looks so cool. I just couldn't stop myself. You know, curiosity of how it would actually run. It's not too bad. I mean, it's fully playable. It's not like, oh, you cannot play. Oh lord, the bump. It's not like it's unplayable or anything. You can definitely play, but it's just not that seamless, stutterless experience that one would love to have. It's a little bit, but then again, I mean, sometimes it's worth the sacrifice for the visuals, because the visuals are great. And if you have G-Sync, which is not my case, then it's not much of an issue, honestly. Because like 50 FPS when you have like a 60 Hz panel without G-Sync, it's painful. It's really... What the hell? I pressed T. Not R, but okay. Here. Okay. So let's take a look outside again. Oh my god, it's stellar. It's brilliant. Look at that. Look at the beautiful truck. Hellman Worldwide Logistics. Istanbul. Okay, whatever. So let's go. We gotta move. We gotta bounce. Auf Wiedersehen, Dusseldorf. I'm gonna miss you. It was fun. And once again, I missed the Gotham Gate. I forgot. Like, why not there? Why there? Bro. Come on. Come on. Right. So we're getting 57 now. It's okay. Playable. Playable. Would be totally fine if I had G-Sync. Without G-Sync, it's a little bit... You know, it's stuttery, but it's okay. Survivable. I can just... It's not the end of the world, that's for sure. Okay, so red light. I hope this video doesn't take too long to load. And oh my god, my mirror is also grayed out. What the hell? It's like just the texture. Something happened here. I'm not sure if just my computer not being able to render this stuff, like to the matting for it, and just went like panic mode. I'm not really sure. But god, the reflection on everything just looks amazing. I've never seen anything like that. 4K is just awesome. 41 FPS, that is really sad. But as sad as it is also very happy because the visuals are great, so it pays off. It really does pay off. You can see how the light just shines through the cockpit. It invades the cockpit and just, you know, just like you would expect in real life, which didn't happen before. So you have this sort of reddish hue that goes. Now you have the greenish hue on the steering wheel, and even the chrome parts, which are not as overdone anymore. You can see that, like beforehand on the first public release of 1.40, you had a little bit more chrome going on, like way too chromey. Now it's a little more natural in a sense. Not sure if you guys noticed that, but I certainly did notice that. Oh my lord, look at that. The grass looks so much better now. Apparently the flicker is not there anymore, just ever so slightly. I can still notice that. Oh my god, rain. Okay, so now we're going through the real performance test here, because we're getting rain, and rain is known to be performance eater when you have reflections involved. which were improved, like significantly improved. So technically we're gonna be looking at performance hit. 51, not bad. It's definitely not bad. Although I would settle for Quad HD instead. Like knowing me, I would probably look at playing Quad HD instead, because then I would have solid 60, which is preferable, honestly. Some games, like, they work fine with less than that. Like Red Dead Redemption, you can play that 30 hertz, no problem. It's fully playable. It doesn't like break the immersion or anything. But Euro Truck, I don't know. I mean, it kind of feels weird. You know, the trucks are already pretty slow, so if you add more slowness by, you know, cutting the doubling the latency, actually cutting the frames in half. Other thing I noticed is that it gets too black and white-ish. I'm not sure if you guys are noticing that, but it's almost like it's fully black and white now that it's dark and rainy. I don't know if it's just my graphics card playing, like, acting up, but it looks like I'm using a sort of black and white filter. It's hard to explain. Like, you have the colors, the panel, like, all good and stuff, but you look outside and it's like, I don't know, it's way too black and white. Perhaps it's just me, but yeah. Oh my, look at wowzers. That is Megapog. Love that. That's what I'm talking about. Like real nighttime trucking with a slight black and white-ish hue, which I'm not sure if I appreciate. But also, perhaps they changed the rain physics. I'm not sure about that. I didn't see that anywhere. Didn't really look it up either, so. But it does seem like it got improved. Like the rain itself and the rain, like going through the windshield. Like it seems as if that got a little bit of an improvement. Like the rain physics as well, like how it just moves through the windshield, upwards, downwards, sideways. Very nice. Very nice. But then again, the grayish thing that's going on, I'm not sure if I fully appreciate that. But let's appreciate that, the reflections. Look at that. That is great. And the rain is gone, so we need no more wipers. Goodbye, wipers. God damn it, I said goodbye, wipers. There. Okay. So yeah, mirror not working, the right one. Very dangerous feature there. So now we cannot see when we're switching lanes to the opposite side. I cannot really see what's going on. I'm not sure if I'm too fond of that, but it's okay. Hopefully we're not gonna run through any issues today. Let's just hope. But other than that, and black and white hue, like I don't know how to explain it, but it looks way too black and white. Perhaps just me, I don't know. And this time I'm not tired. I had enough rest, so my judgment's slightly better than it used to be before. And we're getting 60 finally, at the very least. So it seems like nighttime on the highway itself is running as good as it always ran, which is fantastic. But whenever you're driving in a city environment, there's a bunch of lights and, you know, proper reflections now, and it just eats the performance a little bit. But that's fine. It's a compromise. And then again, it's not the game's fault itself, like I explained before. It's a new technique. It's actual demanding lighting. You know, I mean, if it's gotta look beautiful, it has to be demanding, and there's a cost for that, of course. It's not 4K card. Like, I shouldn't be complaining, and I have no right to complain about that because it's not 4K card. So if I had a 3090 and therefore struggling to run a 4K, then yes, that would be a valid complaint. That would put all the blame on the developers, but not the case here. It's a 2070, it's not 4K card. I shouldn't be trying 4K even, but you know, I wanted to because it looks great. It looks amazing. We got all the new reflections, the new lighting, which is amazing. It's stellar, and I really wanted to see that up close, like as realistic as possible. And it's a great experience overall. I mean, if you ignore the city problems, like highway driving is just fine. And it's like, it's mind-blowing how much it differs from before. Something I mentioned before, I think it was my American Truck Sim video. I said, like, such a small thing, such as lighting, which then changes everything. It's a total game changer in every sort of way. Like, how come, like, just the light reflection, you slap that and bingo, it changes a game entirely. I mean, if you're used to photography and stuff, you know, the lighting is basically everything. It's a total game changer. It's something I learned when I studied photography, and something a technique that I have mastered, quote unquote, very proudly. But yeah, lighting does change everything, and that's a clear evidence of that. So if you have any sign of that, about that, you just look at Euro Truck Sim and what happened between the 1.39 and 1.40, how much it changed. Like, it's crazy different. And it's the same game, essentially. You know, they just slapped new lighting and it became a whole new game. And now we gotta transition between lanes, and I have no mirror, so let's, oh my god. Okay, this is not working. I hate this. Please, mister, please. Right away, come on. Oh. Okay, there we go. Yeah, mirrorless driving. I should be fine for that. Look at that, mirror not working at all. I'm not sure if it's the update or if I gotta go to the truck dealer and like change the mirror, buy new mirrors, and that would magically fix the issue. I'm not sure. It's okay, it's open beta. Things like that are to be expected, and it's completely normal that stuff like that happens at times. I wonder if it's gonna magically come back to life once it's daytime. And I forgot I made a promise that I would sleep, so that we would see daytime performance and daytime overall visual figures as well, which is very important. Well, if I manage to find a gas station around here, I could probably sleep. Or perhaps shoot trips, that could work. Although that video would take a week to process. As far as, because like it was a 4 or 5 minute video that I made. It was like Cologne to Dusseldorf, and it took literally 24 something hours to like process fully and give me the 4K. I would totally understand had it been a 20-minute long video, but it was just 5 minutes. And the American Truck one took even longer, I think, like 29 hours. Because it was 9 minutes long. Like, twice. Almost, a little more than twice, but you get the point. And somehow it took that much. I don't remember it taking that long, because I made a Red Dead Redemption 4K video once. It was much longer. And it was a matter of hours. I don't know, perhaps servers were overloaded, because, you know, the pandemic and stuff, so maybe that was the case. Because when I made the Red Dead Redemption video, actually no, the pandemic was already a thing. I was gonna say the pandemic was not a thing, but it was. It was like mid 2020, so like it was the worst part of the pandemic for most countries, that is. For all of them. So let's get this over with and head over there, sleep, and check daytime performance. Alright. La la. That's a bump and a half. There we go. We play it safe. No, we just hurry, skip. Because I don't want to... You guys... If you guys watch my 4K video, you guys are going to understand why I just don't want to try it. I'm bad at this. I'm really bad at maneuvering. It's shameful. If I can hide a part of me as much as I can, I will. And I hope you guys understand that. Dusseldorf, or should we... Actually, let's take this one to Dortmund because that's a short one. It's also a double decker, not double decker. Geez, I mean a what's the name of that in English again? I forgot. It's not double decker. It's not fucking. It's not fucking bus. Um, I forgot. I straight up forgot, and I'm sorry for that. Right. So let's check the map. I gotta sleep first because we want to see daytime lighting. So let's go there to that rest stop, which is just short 18 km. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, that ought to work. I hope. Right. So parking brake engaged. Oh, don't tell me it's engaged. Where do we go now? Look at that. I think. Not sure. Yeah, I think that's the way. The arrows are pointing that way, so I just assume it is. It's confusing. Kind of overlapping. Yeah, definitely that way. Okay, so yeah, the frames are awful at this moment. Like, actually awful. I've never seen such awfulness before. No, I've never seen it. 59, okay, look at that. We're back at playable numbers. Although 59 is pain. 60 is the way to go. 59 is just 59. It's not as impressive. Alright. So let's make this turn carefully. Let's try not to screw up. That's the rest stop. It's a hotel. Let's go. Let's get this done with 1 a.m. So I'm gonna... Oh my god. Okay, so it's gonna be like 9 a.m. I assume once we're... Oh my god, look at the reflection of car. A truck. Windshield. There we go. 10 a.m. is about as good as it could get. Look at that. Colors are great. Skybox is great. German houses are fantastic. So yeah, beautiful morning here. So let's go out and drive. Oh my god. Let's go. Be very careful to burn this boy. Okay, so now we got 60. Yeah, it was definitely nighttime being the culprit of the low frames. Perhaps if I lower reflection to like 50% scaling, that could fix things, although it would look a little weird and jagged, I mean, but perhaps that would save performance. I'm gonna go through that later on, see what's a compromise, see what compromises I can make to get like better performance without sacrificing much of the visuals, although, you know, some of it's gonna have to be sacrificed for the sake of size. I'm getting 39 even though it's daytime, so yeah, it was not just the night lighting. There's something else. There's definitely something else. Even makes me wonder if 1080p performance was affected as well, because during my 4K video yesterday, I didn't have any drop under 60. Like, it didn't drop at all in Euro Truck. It did in American Truck, but it was also very, very subtle, barely noticeable. Ooh. But you know, it'd be like that sometimes. Yeah, CPU's definitely not bottlenecking. It's definitely the car just knobbing. It's not being fully utilized though. Look at that. It's a 76% usage. That is a mistake. So it's not being fully utilized, and that's concerning. That's really concerning. Why is it not being fully utilized? What is bottlenecking the card this time around? It's not the CPU, it's not the RAM, it's using 12 gigs, plenty of RAM. I remember using like 8 before. And again, I had 16, I have 32, so perhaps it just uses more RAM depending on how much you got to spare. Oh my god, beautiful though. Look at that. As much as the frames are a little wonky, just look at that. It's beautiful, beautiful Germany. Really fun. It's probably gonna be my longest benchmark video so far. I'm very proud of myself. Oh yeah, look at that. Countryside. We're taking that. Oh my, it's traffic. Quite a bit of traffic. Come on. It's kind of even like hard to control the truck with the frames like that because it's stuttering. What the hell is that reflection? The side of the bus. Jesus. Yeah, the colors are very accurate, like I mentioned before, even better in 4K. Okay. It's even more vivid, vibrant as heck. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's almost like I'm driving a real truck. Thankfully not driving a real truck though, because I'm a danger behind the wheel. No one should let me touch a truck, honestly. Okay. Guy was gonna overtake me, we're gonna chickened out. It's not very part channel. Right. So there it is. Load. We're doing it a quick way because I'm a speed runner, boys. I'm gonna speed run Euro Truck Sim because that's the fun of it. Let's speed run. Now, window, I'm sure truckers do that, but probably use the mirror, but I refuse to. Because I'm a speed runner. Speed runners don't follow rules. They do as they please. They live life dangerously. 135 km trip away. And still the purple box there, which I have no clue where it came from. What the hell is that purple box? Is that my car just telling me like, bro, you're being too rough or something? I don't know. Yeah, the textures are definitely missing in the mirrors. Oh, wait. It's okay though. I can. Why did I? I was trying to shift the truck with the paddle shifter because I don't know. I forgot. Oh la la. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Red light. Gebruder Weiss. I think. Pardon my spelling. Because I really not sure. I'm not even gonna try the French one. Boivia. Boivia. Ambroise Boivia, whatever it is. Yeah, the trees are not. Oh, they are. They are. They are. It's a lot more less noticeable. So we have flickery trees, but they are under control. It's not as blatant as it used to be. But then again, it's a different situation here because I am playing in 4K. So maybe 4K just sort of evens out the problem. Gotta check 1080p later on. Because we are completely ignoring the possibility that, you know, maybe higher res kind of makes that go up. Oh, also I could just dump the anti-aliasing. Yeah, it's 4K. Who needs anti-aliasing with 4K? I need to run a second benchmark later without anti-aliasing to see if there is any difference, because there's no need for that in 4K, and I completely forgot about that. So maybe we can gain the frames that we lost, like the sub 60 stuff. It could just go away because we don't need the extra load. Mainly I'm running DSR, so like 4K itself is like a big anti-aliasing when you do DSR. Because essentially what it does, it's like trying to simulate extra pixels. So 1 pixel is actually 4 pixels, all like tied together to make the screen believe it's actually a 4K panel, but it's not. It's just 1080p. Multiplies the pixels, and you gain a visual fidelity in general, but of course it's not real 4K per se. But you know, I mean, it is and it is not, because it's actually a pixel just showing 4 pixels inside of 1, basically. But figures are the same, so if you want to benchmark higher res and you don't have a screen for that panel, you just go DSR shit out of it, and generally we're looking at similar figures. The load's slightly higher with DSR. From what I heard, I don't have a 4K panel, so I cannot really test that out. But I heard whenever you use DSR, there's a little bit more extra load going on. But it's a great way to see how it runs, and it looks a lot better, of course, than standard 1080p. So DSR is the way to go if you wanna, you know, fancy. Because I mean, I could, yeah, 4K panel, but my card is not 4K card, so I would be limited to like lightweight games, and I would have to play most stuff in like Quad HD or 1080p, and then it would look strange, because when you use DSR to play a higher res than your screen is capable of, it looks great. But if you have a screen, a high res screen, and you have to play a lower res, it looks kind of weird. Like, it looks blurry and stretched and ugly, and it gives you crippling depression. So yeah, that's why I went with the 1080p, because like, you know, like the 1080p games are very demanding stuff. I can play full HD fine, and then if I want to play like a story driven game like Red Dead Redemption, whatever, which I can fancy 4K Quad HD without compromises, fine, so be it. Like, DSR it and bingo, it looks great. Like, there are other games that you cannot really go that way without like making such a compromise. And competitive gaming, like sim racing, like ACC for instance, it's a very demanding game, and I wouldn't be able to play it 4K above 60. I mean, it barely runs at 1080. it's 60 FPS, 70% load. I used to play it in Quad HD for a while, actually. It used to set at 60, but I could not record. If I were to record, it would drop. I cannot even stream that game 1080p with epic settings, even though it uses just 70% of the card, which means there's a 30% margin. There should be a margin. There ain't no margin. Somehow it just doesn't work. Like, it doesn't, logic doesn't apply to that game. It just becomes a stutter fest whenever I try to stream. Like, okay, 1080p, non recording, just fine, like plenty of headroom, you know. Whenever I click record or stream, it just goes downhill. The frames go all the way down to low 50s, and it breaks the whole thing. And it's not the processor, it's just the game just breaks. It doesn't like streaming software in general, screen capture for that matter. It's kind of sad, because I bought the game thinking, okay, I'm gonna stream my races, my horrible driving, so that people can see how bad I am, and I can see how I improve over time by watching my previous streams. And people might like to watch, because the races are very tight, like GT4 in ACC, it's extremely tight. Even when you're playing with non-alien AI levels, it still feels very competitive, very tight, very close together, door to door. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's something that people would probably enjoy watching. But it just doesn't work. Whenever I try, the frames just go crazy, and it ruins the whole thing. Even though there's a 30% margin, which That's why I don't understand 30% usage margin, which means, hey, NVENC could just record that just fine, and you wouldn't have, because when you have like 95% usage and then you try and use Shadowplay, of course that 5% margin is not enough for recording. You're gonna be losing frames. Like here, I'm getting 4652 because I'm always like around 90 something. It's all over the place. It's obviously oscillating a little bit, but generally, ideally, you know, we're looking at 90 something, 93 something, like best case scenario, and then you slap the recorder in, and that, you know, it's just not, there's just not enough card to record above 60. 4K 60 is very good. Oh my, look at that. Let's deliver, but let's appreciate that beforehand. Look at that. That lighting is pog. Look at how the shadows just... I'm very impressed with this update. Like, visually, it is really... If only I had my mirrors back. But, yeah. So, that's it for today's benchmark. I hope 4K version of it comes soon. I'm not sure how long that's gonna take, because if a 5-minute video took that long, imagine this, which was a lot more than 5 minutes, for sure. That was one of my longest benchmarks ever. So it's probably going to take a week until you guys can see full-fledged 4K, but I swear to you, that's 4K. Even if it shows 1080p 60, if you look, I've shown my settings around the first minutes of the video, showing that it's indeed 2160p, which is 4K. So, you all have a great time. Feel free to leave any sort of feedback. And yeah, definitely my longest benchmark, 36 minutes. That's very impressive, very long. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. You all have a great time. Comment sections right down below if you have any question, any feedback, whatever you want. Feel free and welcome to do so. I appreciate any sort of feedback. So you all have a great time. Adios.